A very good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new lesson, The Great Stone Face 2. We have already read The Great Stone Face 1, in which we came to know about the central character of the story, Ernest, and his great admiration for the great stone face, which was a nature of work having an appearance of the human face. We came to know that a rich merchant called Gathergold and a soldier called Blood and Thunder was first assumed by the inhabitants of the valley to be the great stone face, but Ernest was not convinced and he was still waiting for the actual genuine man to come. So now we are going to carry the story further. The years hurried on and brought white hairs upon the head of Ernest, and made wrinkles across his forehead and furrows in his cheeks. So, Ernest grew older and he had wrinkles across his forehead and furrows in his cheeks. Furrows means deep lines. Okay, he was having wrinkled skin. He was an old man, but not in vain had he grown old. Means his aging was not useless. He has got wisdom over the years. But not in vain had he grown old. More numerous than the white hairs on his head were the wise thoughts in his mind. It means he had many wise thoughts in his mind than the number of hairs on his head. And Ernest had ceased to be obscure, unsought for, undesired, had come the fame which so many seek. It means that now Ernest had popularity. Okay, he was famous for his wisdom. He had become famous beyond the limits of his valley. The fame had come. College professors and even the active men of cities came from far to see and converse. Converse means to talk with Ernest, and he received them with gentle sincerity and spoke freely with them of whatever came uppermost or lay deepest in his heart or their own. Means he used to discuss various topics with the people who used to come to meet him. While they talked together, his face would brighten unawares and shine upon them as with a mild evening light. Means his face used to brighten up each time he used to talk to the people. While Ernest had been growing old, God had granted a new poet to this earth. He too was a native of the valley, but had spent the greater part of his life in distant cities, pouring out his sweet music everywhere. So there was a poet who was pouring out his sweet music everywhere, and he was also the native of the valley. Means he belonged to the valley only. Neither was the great stone face forgotten, for the poet had celebrated it in a poem. So the poet had written a poem on the great stone face. The songs of this poet found their way to Ernest. Means Ernest got to read the poems of the poet. He read them after his customary toil, seated on the bench before his cottage door. As he read, he lifted his eyes to the mountain. So after his daily work, customary toil means his usual work, he used to sit and he used to read the poems written by the poet. O great stone face, he said, is not this man worthy to be your likeness? The face seemed to smile but did not answer. Now it happened that the poet, though he lived so far away, had not only heard of Ernest but had thought much about his character and wished to meet this man whose wisdom walked hand in hand with the noble simplicity of his life. So the poet was also aware of Ernest's uh, behavior and his wisdom. He was also impressed by his intellectual capabilities. So one summer day, therefore, he arrived at Ernest's door, where he found the good old man holding a book in his hand, which he read, and then, with a finger between the leaves means the pages, looked lovingly at the great stone face. Good evening, said the poet. So the poet wished him and asked, can you give a traveler a night's shelter? Gladly, answered Ernest. As Ernest was a very kind man, he agreed. And then he added, smiling, I think I never saw the great stone face look so hospitably at a stranger. Means I have never seen anyone who is so kind, who is so gentle and eager to give shelter to a stranger. So, students, this was the first part of the lesson, The Great Stone Phase 2. If you have any doubt, you can ask. I will explain the remaining lesson in the second part. Thank you.